6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. Authorities near San Antonio making several arrests in a huge migrant sting operation. 11 migrants now hospitalized.
One person is dead, another hurt after a stabbing incident near Houston.
And 4 heat-related deaths now recorded in El Paso.
Unfortunately, the dome of high pressure is going to make that story, shall we say, repeat itself. We're looking for a very hot weekend across the entire state. We'll be in the upper 90s, but the rest of the state on the other side of Gonzales is going to be into the triple digits. We'll be talking about that and taking a look at the tropics coming up in a moment.
And today is game 1 of the NBA Finals out in Boston. I'll have that in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia.
The jury trial for 4 former industrial high school baseball players will start August 26th. Alan Stumfold, Christopher McCrory, Zachary Kukler, and Braxton Warren are indicted on charges of organized criminal assault. Industrial ISD reports the incident occurred on April 27th, 2023.
This morning, Victoria police arrested 3 men, 21-year-old Nathan de la Garza, 22-year-old Ricardo Gonzalez, and 22-year-old Eric Montes, all charged with engaging in organized criminal activity, manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance, tampering with physical evidence with intent to impair, and burglary of a vehicle. They remain in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of a total of $145,000 bond. Now 2 weeks remain until the start of summer, yet temperatures are already skyrocketing into the triple digits.
This is due to a heat dome Mac has been talking about that's hitting parts of the West, and the heat is often a danger many underestimate.
The hots are getting hotter and the wets are getting wetter.
A heat dome is on track to usher in the hottest day of the year in the western U.S. so far. Excessive heat warnings are in effect for millions in California, Nevada, Utah, and Arizona.
Those who are working outside, those who have disabilities, those who are vulnerable or isolated, heat can present very real dangers.
Yet it is a danger that some underestimate. In 2023, Maricopa County, Arizona officials reported 645 heat-related deaths, the deadliest on record.
Extreme heat, especially extreme humid heat, is really kind of a silent killer. You don't think about a heat wave as being some sort of visually dramatic weather event in the same sense that a hurricane or a wildfire or a tornado might be, but they actually kill a lot more people.
Already this year, multiple heat-related deaths have been recorded, including 4 in El Paso, Texas last weekend. The heat's unprecedented trail of death this year has scorched India and Mexico, and hotter air and oceans fueled rainfall and catastrophic floods globally. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres sounded the alarm on the sweltering impacts of climate change.
We are playing Russian roulette with our planet. And we need an exit ramp off the highway to climate hell.
Records from the EU Climate Monitoring Service show every single month from June 2023 to May 2024 was the hottest such month on record.
Our planet is trying to tell us something, but we don't seem to be listening.
In Los Angeles, I'm Julia Vargas Jones.
And with that, let's take a look at your forecast with our chief meteorologist, Mac Perez. Mac, give us some rays of hope here. What can we do to cool ourselves down?
Well, stick your head inside the refrigerator is one. I tell you, I mean, this is a serious problem that, we've been talking about for a long time, and now the problem's come home to roost, and it's going to be with us for quite some time. This is not a quick 2-day thing. This is a long-term overheating of the planet. And the heat wave this weekend is going to go from our area all the way out west. And so all of these states will be under heat advisories for temperatures that are going to be way higher than normal for this time of year. So we'll figure out how we need to live and adjust and accommodate for the heat. All that we'll talk about a little bit later on.
Mac, thank you. Authorities arrested 7 migrant smuggling suspects. 11 migrants were also hospitalized after a law enforcement sting near San Antonio with heat-related injuries. Authorities say a total of 26 migrants were found at a house in South Bexar County Thursday. They say the migrants were packed into a false compartment under a trailer for 3 hours without water. Temperatures in San Antonio were in the high 90s Thursday afternoon. A terrifying scene in North Harris County Wednesday evening. Authorities say a man holding a kitchen knife waved down drivers and then stabbed them.
Authorities say a man was killed and a woman was left injured.
I've heard some stories before. This is kind of a strange one.
Standing in the middle of the street was a 49-year-old man. In one hand, investigators say he was holding a kitchen knife with a blade about 7 inches long. In the other hand, a toy stuffed animal. Detectives say he was waiting for drivers. And he flags them down and then starts stabbing them through the window.
From what we know at this point, the motorists are just driving along the street. They're strangers to him. He don't know them, they don't know him. He approaches the car, waving them down. They stop to see what's going on, and when they stop, he stabs them.
Detectives say the first victim was a woman. She managed to get away quickly after they say she was stabbed in the torso. Not long after she hit the gas to escape, the attacker flagged down another driver. The man was stabbed by surprise as well. He also drove off, trying to make it back to his house.
But unfortunately, he drove home to where he ended up collapsing in the driveway.
The man was dead when deputies arrived. And when they got to Sandalwood Trail, they immediately found the suspect still standing in the street holding a knife. When he wouldn't drop the weapon, deputies deployed a taser, then took him into custody. Detectives say the suspect didn't live here but was staying at his aunt's house.
We are learning that he possibly has some type of mental issues. We hadn't confirmed that yet.
Once the investigation is complete, a grand jury will determine the charges the man might face.
Texas top election official tells local election officials to stop releasing information that exposes how some people vote. The emergency guidance from Secretary of State Jane Nelson comes after the Texas Tribune reported the choices some voters make can later be identified through legally available records. Officials say when posting voting to make them publicly available, election officials should delete any information that identifies the location at which a voter voted.
U.S.-made munitions were used in a deadly Israeli airstrike. The strike hit a school at a refugee camp, which is run by the United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees in central Gaza Thursday. The death toll now stands at 45. This is the second time in 2 weeks U.S. munitions have been identified in deadly Israeli attacks.
Next month, the project to rebuild Pleasant Green Drive will start. Victoria City Council awarded the reconstruction project to New Stout Excavating Group of San Antonio. The contract is for over $949,000. The rebuilding on Pleasant Green Drive will be from Juan Lynn Street to Port Lavaca Drive. Construction will start next month and is expected to finish by October or November of this year. Issues on Pleasant Green Drive are caused by recent traffic due to construction on U.S. Highway 59. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Where can you find Crossroads Today that way?
On YouTube.
All right. Stay with us. Police in Virginia are looking for women suspected of killing their 3 roommates. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, what we know tonight.
Also ahead, we take a moment to honor and remember D-Day on today's 80th anniversary. Police in Virginia are looking for a 23-year-old woman after her 3 roommates were found dead in their home. This is Alicia Jane. Authorities say she killed her roommates in what investigators are calling a heinous crime. The victims were identified as 77-year-old Robert John McGuire, 60-year-old Gregory Scott Powell, and Carol Ann Reese, who is 65. Alicia Jane is wanted on 3 counts of second-degree murder and a use of a firearm. Neighbors say the 23-year-old moved into the home around a month ago. Thursday, President Biden said he would not pardon his son Hunter Biden if he's found guilty of criminal federal gun charges, saying he would accept the outcome of the trial, which is currently underway in Delaware. Hunter Biden is accused of illegally purchasing and possessing a gun while abusing or being addicted to drugs. That's a violation of federal law. Hunter Biden pleaded not guilty to the 3 charges, but he's been open about his addiction with alcohol and crack cocaine in the past. It's the first time the child of a sitting U.S. president has ever been on trial.
Former Donald Trump aide Steve Bannon was ordered to report to prison by July 1st. Bannon was in court for the ruling this morning. He was found guilty on 2 counts of contempt of Congress in 2022 for defying subpoenas, but his 4-month prison sentence had been put on hold while he appealed the case. Bannon could still appeal the ruling that he must report.
I want to say something specifically about the Justice Department. Merrick Garland, Lisa Monaco, the entire Justice Department. They're not going to shut up Trump. They're not going to shut up Navarro. They're not going to shut up Bannon, and they're certainly not going to shut up MAGA.
Bannon faces the same sentence currently being served by another former Trump advisor, Peter Navarro, who also refused to comply with a January 6th committee subpoena. The FDA reversed its marketing ban on Juul e-cigarettes Thursday.
The FDA says the ban was being reversed while it reviews new court decisions. The FDA will now consider updated information provided by the vape maker, but the FDA says this new status was not an indication they would be fully cleared. The agency first ordered the company to stop selling its products back in 2022, but they have stayed on shelves pending an appeal. Currently, the FDA has only given 23 e-cigarette products official approval to be marketed to consumers. So here is your Veer poll this evening. The question is, do you agree with the FDA's decision to reverse the marketing ban on Juul e-cigarettes? Yes or no? According to our results, it looks like 17% of our voters said yes and 83% voted no. We want to hear your opinion on this. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. And we're going to have an update, of course, tonight on 25 News Now at 10.
Today marks 80 years since Allied troops stormed the beaches of Normandy in what eventually led to the liberation of France and helped defeat the Nazis in World War II.
Among the world leaders in France today to reflect D-Day was President Joe Biden.
An emotional day in Normandy, France to commemorate one of the most pivotal moments in modern history, D-Day. June 6, 1944, 80 years ago, Allied forces stormed this beach, an invasion that helped defeat Nazi Germany during World War II. President Biden and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden joining other world leaders to meet with remaining survivors, then laying a wreath at the American cemetery, paying their respects to the more than 4,400 who lost their lives, many of them Americans. French President Emmanuel Macron presenting 11 U.S. veterans with France's Legion of Honor. Biden at one point appearing to wipe away tears. More emotions as fighter jets flew overhead in a missing man formation.
The men who fought here became heroes.
In an exclusive interview with World News Tonight anchor David Muir, Biden said important lessons from D-Day apply today.
What do you think these American heroes can teach us right now about meeting this moment?
Stand up, tell the truth, serve your country. Many of them died sinking in the night. Come across that beach as long as it's just astounding. It's astounding. What it says to me is how critical alliances are. How critical alliances are for our security.
Biden comparing that fight against the Nazis to Russia's present war with Ukraine, saying democracy is more at risk around the world than at any point since the end of World War II.
To surrender to bullies, to bow down to dictators is simply unthinkable. Were we to do that, it means we'd be forgetting what happened here in these hallowed beaches. Make no mistake, we will not bow down.
Ukrainian President Zelensky was in Normandy for the anniversary events and is expected to sit down with Biden in Paris on Friday. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
SpaceX launched its fourth flight test of its Starship rocket. The unmanned rocket blasted into space Thursday morning from the Starbase launch site in Boca Chica near Brownsville. The booster detached from the Starship, sending it toward space for a 90-minute trip. The booster successfully splashed down in the Gulf of Mexico. SpaceX says the primary goal of the test flight is to survive a hot re-entry through Earth's atmosphere. If you missed Storm Prep 2024, here are some other dates and times you can catch the show. On KAVU, Saturday, June 22nd at 4:30 p.m. KMOL, Sunday, June 23rd at 11:30 a.m. KVCT, Sunday, June 23rd at 12:30 p.m. and KXTS, Saturday, June 22nd at 11 a.m. The next time you can catch a weathercast from Mac is right now.
Ready to go. All right, folks, right about now our temperature is 91, still 91, I say, because that is our official high of the day, which is all right. Well, maybe not so all right. It's actually our average temperature. But 101 is our record, and over the next couple days, temperature is going to go a little bit higher. So let's bundle up and get ready for a very hot weekend. All that coming up in just a moment. Well, good afternoon, everybody. The sun is back after that nice surprise rain we had yesterday. As you can see, there's not much happening other than the heat and the humidity over our area. Looking for clouds, not a whole lot over Texas. It's all just a couple storms in the mountains of northern Mexico. But as we've been talking, the dome of high pressure is pushing back up. And a couple of things that you need to know. This is actual summer, and summer is going to park itself right over North America. As a result, when it gets high enough north, then the tropical door will open. Right now, it's sort of closed. I'll explain later, but the heat wave is rolling all the way into the Central Valley of California. Phoenix today got up to 113. It's a new record high even for Phoenix because this is happening about 3 weeks earlier than their last record high. So for us, for you, we've got to do our best to stay hydrated and take frequent breaks, especially if you're going to be outdoors in the middle part of the day. Strenuous outdoor activity you want to minimize in the afternoon. But then, you know, you got the morning, you got the evening, and those are good times to take the dog for a a walk or something. And certainly check on the elderly and pets, and really, if you can, your neighbors who may not have proper air conditioning. So while we're sitting here baking, we're also waiting for the start of the storm season. Alberto, Beryl, and Chris would be the first ones, then Debbie, Ernesto, and Florence. But you see all the names, we go all down to William. It's now time to predict, and then I want to go on record as to what I'm expecting for this tropical storm season. Now, over the last 60 years, we've averaged, you take them all up and you divide them in equally, and you get 14. That's the 14 named storms that we average, okay? Colorado State has already put out their prediction for 23. National Weather Service has put up 17 to 25. Little old me, just for fun, right here in Victoria, I'm going for 25 named storms. And then, of course, the question is we don't know where they're going to land. And then the other factor is the following. It only takes one storm to blow your house away. So all of those things need to be considered. For the short term, we're dealing with heat, and there's no denying it. As we start pushing tomorrow, about 97. That's hotter than today, which is 91. So it's going to be a scorcher. So if you happen to be driving west of our area, just know that everybody's going to be at 100 or higher. Now, of course, at this time of the year, you want to make sure your car has coolant, that your AC in your car is cleaned off the filters, and that it's in good working order, because this is going to stress even the cars driving over the hot ranges. Now, this map is going to be a little bit different from what I normally show you. This is the cyclone heat potential. So whenever you see this pinkish area, that's where the potential is highest because of water temperature, wind shear, all of those ingredients. So it has diminished from this side. It's mostly white. It has increased here, and it has increased in the Caribbean. So let's just say if anything pops in the next week or so, it likely will be in that neighborhood, and we're certainly going to be watching it for you. All right, here is your extended outlook for the weekend. Looking hot, looking 93 in Port Lavaca. Those of you out in Cuero, wear the cowboy hats, because it's going to be hot as well, getting up to 94, 95. And then for the rest of us, we're looking at an average high about 97 in Victoria County, and then getting up to about 98 on Sunday. So it's a hot weekend, a little bit of cloud cover, and possibly a couple of afternoon showers, but that's not till Monday of next week. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. And now here's Karina.
Thank you, Mac. And now here's Zach Brown with your sports.
The NBA Finals begin in just over an hour. I'll have that in sports. For Victoria East Titans softball, they've got some pretty exciting news. Star catcher Mia De Los Santos has been named to the Class 5A All-State team and been named as an All-Star. The All-Star game is going to take place June 26th in Arlington, Texas. De Los Santos, a part of that Titan team that just made the postseason for the first time in 10 years, and she had a fantastic season. Now her hard work getting recognized on a larger stage. The NBA Finals finally here. Game 1 in Boston between the Celtics and the Mavericks. They've got lots of storylines in this one. Kyrie Irving facing off against his old team. Boston hates Kyrie, and he will be booed loudly all game long, although his former teammates say there is no animosity and that they actually have a good relationship. The Mavs, led by Jason Kidd. Last time Dallas was in the finals, Jason Kidd was their point guard when they knocked off LeBron James and the Miami Heat back in 2011. That's going to lead us to your viewer poll. Who will win Game 1 of the NBA Finals? You got the Mavs or the Celtics? Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote sports to take part. We've got 67% of people saying the Mavs. I think there's some Texas bias there, but the Mavs certainly not an easy task for Boston. And while you watch the NBA Finals tonight, a longtime female sports analyst is set to make broadcasting history at the NBA Finals tonight. Doris Burke will be the first woman to call any major men's championship in U.S. history. Burke was named to lead the NBA broadcasting crew for ABC and ESPN at the start of the season. She's set to work all of the NBA final games this season. This isn't Burke's first time making history. In 2017, she became the first woman to work as a season-long NBA game analyst for ESPN. And in 2020, she was the first woman to call the NBA Finals for ESPN Radio. Speaking of Game 1s, the Women's College World Series Red River Edition. Texas versus Oklahoma, one of the best rivalries in sports, and for the title. And Oklahoma starts the first inning off with a bang, 2-run shot. Has the Sooners out in front, but Texas cuts that lead in half with a bomb of their own in the bottom half. It was home run derby in Oklahoma City as the Sooners hit another one out. They marched to the Game 1 win, 8-3. Game 2 tonight. Oklahoma looking for a four-peat in the Women's College World Series. Tonight, the Victoria Generals return home to Riverside Stadium. The road has not been kind to them. They have lost all 3 road games, but they are a perfect 2-0 here in Victoria. Game time set for 7:05. That is it for your sports. Donna, Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Zach. And we're back in a moment where we get ready to celebrate Donut Day tomorrow.
Finally tonight, one of America's favorite sweet treats gets its own day twice a year. The first National Donut Day of the year is Friday. This one honors the Salvation Army women who served the pastry to soldiers during World War I. It's obvious how to celebrate. Enjoy some donuts. Pick some up at the grocery store or coffee or donut shop, or if you're ambitious, make your own at home. Also, Americans eat 10 billion donuts a year. That's about 31 donuts per person. That is not 31 donuts per person per day, because that would be not a sugar rush. That'd be like a sugar tsunami that you would have. So
well, that's how many a month? More than 2, 3 a month?
It's like 2.
Yeah.
No, like 3.
That's
2 to 3. It's in between. It's in between.
That's reasonable. Yeah, 2.5 donuts a month is reasonable, don't you think?
Well, see, that's one thing that keeps me from eating donuts. I'm doing all this math, so I'm trying to figure all this stuff out there.
So we can have 1 or 2 a month, and then that's it. All right, folks. For the weekend, you're going to do your best to try and stay cool. Don't overdo it in the middle part of the day, because we're looking for a very hot weekend. Today's high was 91. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 97, according to the computers, and that is going to be warmer than today.
All right, thank you, Mac, and thanks for joining us.
We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10.